On this episode of Creole Narratives, we celebrate Creole Heritage Month and Day, honoring a language born out of resistance and resilience. Today, more than a dozen nations speak Creole, shaping our identity, culture, and music. Linguist Websder Corneille joins us to trace the roots of Creole and how its rhythm continues to move the world.
Because it was part of a movement, Creolite movement, which is the appreciation of your identity, your Creole identity. That's the same thing you can see it in Boukman, because that's the reason like the roots music is so connected to voodoo, because it was a way of mean of identity for us. Like this song, it's not only about the music to say the Kreyol Nou Ye, like for us to speak Haitian Creole.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Creole Narratives podcast. I'm your host, Fadia Patterson, and this space is all about amplifying Haiti and the rich history and culture of the Haitian diaspora. Specifically, this episode is all about celebrating Creole Heritage Month, which is typically celebrated during the month of October. Communities all across the world celebrate the beauty, strength, and diversity of Creole languages and cultures, all culminating in International Creole Day, which is celebrated on October 28th. Joining me is a special guest that we've had on the show before. We are welcoming back Websder Corneille, who is an adjunct lecturer at Indiana University at the Center for Latin America and Caribbean Studies. He's a linguist and also the founder of the Haitian Creole program. Websder, welcome back to the show.
Hello, Fadia. I'm so happy to be here, and thanks for having me back. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy Creole Heritage Month. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. So, Websder, for those who may not know, what is Creole Heritage Month and why is it so significant?
I think it's we can see it in two ways, and part of culture and part of the language. As a language, we know like back in the days, there were a group of people who were forced to leave their homelands and come, whether it's the Caribbean or the Americas. That's the reason we see a lot of Creole communities, Lucian, Haitian Creole communities in the Dominican Republic, or like in the Indian Oceans. And those people have in common the language they have inherited. And mostly these languages, like in case of Jamaica, and English and lexifier, that means it was influenced by English. But for the case of Haitian Creole or Louisiana Creole, it was by French. That means we have a group of people, like historically, that are related. And also, in other words, we can say about the culture, like, because the month, it's not only about the language, even the language is kind of the flagship of the month, but the culture is something very important. For example, I used to have this conversation with some friends that what is the Creole culture like? But it's like sometimes you can't explain it, but you feel it. When you go somewhere and you see a type of dress, and for example, Tisaksuk, I don't know if you know this company, and you'll say, oh, okay, that's Creole culture. Or like if you go like in places like Louisiana and you found gombo, you say, okay, this is Creole culture. It's like this is the cuisine, or like if you say about the music, for example, if you listen to the roots, like what we call racine in Haiti, you said, okay, this is Creole culture. Like it's like it's undefined, I would say, because we don't have a line of delimitation, but also we know it's sometimes I say this. You can see it, you can feel it when you and recognize it. It's both about the language and the culture. Like I said, it's a group of people, like historically, that have been marginalized or like oppressed, and today are able to reclaim and to promote their culture, their language.
Perfect.
And we find this people like in the Americas, Indian Ocean, like and Mauritian Creole, or like Seychelles. We found these people everywhere.
Right. Let's break down what that language is. As a language, how do you find the Creole language?
Actually, it's a language like every other language, but also we have some misconceptions about saying that okay, Creole. simplified versions of European languages, which is not true. And we have so many linguists who have been debunking these myths. Like, for example, we have Michel de Graaf at MIT or like Saliko Komufwene at the University of Chicago. Because the Creole language, if you can say that, and it's the language that was the means of communication and between people like who were and we would say indentured laborers. For example, like if they went from and Western and Africa or Central Africa, and they come together in a place. Let's say like let's explain it. If you and I, you from let's say Jamaica and I'm from Haiti, when we don't know each other, we can't communicate, and we came to another place. We were forced to come to another place, and we would find a way to communicate. And this language is and so many times resulted into a Creole language. But before that, sometimes we have pidgin. That's the reason we have some people saying that, is Creole or pidgin? You might see some questions around that. Is Creole or pidgin? Because they usually consider like pidgin as the ancestor of the Creole. Like it's in the life cycle of Creole, you can have a jargon and you have pidgin and you have Creole idea. And I would say that Creole is a contact language that is fully developed. We said contact language or mixed language. That's the reason you have so many Creole varieties, because we had British colonizer, French colonizer, we have Netherlands. That's the reason we have like and people who speak a Creole and that are based on some words or like follow some pattern and of French language of English language. I would say that, like I said, Creole is a contact language of people like that were historically brought to a place they didn't know and they found a way to communicate. And this action resulted into a Creole language.
Yeah, there's always a misconception that Creole is broken French or broken English. How do you address that?
Oh yeah, that's like I said, I think a lot of people like for them, it's because if you're speaking Haitian Creole, for example, you will say there's a lot of French words in as the lexicon, and does that make the language like a broken French? No, and because even for English, like there's a lot of words coming from and French or like German. And actually English is a part of what we call the language family, like part of the German family. That means that we have language is like kind of a virtual place to see the globalization. For example, how this relation of go and come back, and you can see it, and you can see that in the language. And for the Creole languages, like for someone like Degraf at MIT, it's a sort of discrimination to say that. Like for example, like in Haiti, we have Haitian Creole as the official language of the population, like alongside French. And when you say it's a broken language, what do you mean about it? You say like it's just there's a group of people like, and this language is kind of a part of their identity or like part of the history. And you said that this language is not a fully fledged language. Sometimes we have some very like narrow view about languages, but of course Haitian Creole or like whether any other Creoles are very fully fledged language, like I said, and they don't. Of course, they like I said, because they are contact languages, and you will see like the some glimpses of the lexifier. What we call the lexifier was the European language, and of course you will see glimpses. If you and I came together for a little while, and of course you will see a part of you in me, and also me, a part of me in you. For example, in the beginning we said long time no see. This expression came from Pidgin. Yeah, it's not originally from English. Yeah, long time no see. We have this what we said like the and go and come back relation and between languages. And for example, like in maïs in French, manioc in French, those are like indigenous words. And yeah. What I wanted to say specifically is we have some words originally that are from the indigenous languages or like the Creole languages, and they integrated the French and lexicon, the same way we have, and like I said, long time no see from Pidgin, but integrated the English lexicon. Today, when we say long time no see, and if you can say like syntactically, you said, oh, a long time no see. But at the end, it's something that we say, and without taking into account the fact that this is from the pigeon, like the I can't say exactly where, like the geographically, but I know this is kind of an expression from a pigeon, a contact between French and another language or another group of people. Because, like I said, like the Creole languages, it's not a language sometimes that was in place before like the indentured labor coming into. But it was like when they arrived, they were looking for a way to communicate. And that's the reason, like, for example, in Haitian Creole, you see the syntax of Haitian Creole is influenced by an African languages like Iwi font. It's not French. For example, like French and or Spanish, let's say like for like European languages, let's say, if we said like uh, I want to eat, I want to eat, you see I, which is the subject, want the verb, and to eat, you can see the object. And uh, I think like it's not the best example. Like for example, we said like the students are here. The students are here. The students, which is the subject, are the verb, the copula, and here. Okay, it's the adverb we would say. But in Haitian Creole, you will say like élève yo. We don't say the student in Haitian Creole. We say élève yo. That means the definite article, the in English, which is in front of the noun, you know, comes after the noun in Haitian Creole. Élève yo instead of yo élève, the student. So that means yeah, even it's a contact language, but you have so many differences, and these languages, mostly like you, Creole languages, syntactically behave like African languages because there were a lot of people coming from Africa. And that's the reason, like someone like De Graaf said at MIT said, no, Haitian Creole is not a French-based Creole because we behave differently, and yeah, we have some debate about it.
Yeah, I want to move on to talk about our global Creole family. We know Creole isn't just limited to one island in Haiti or one culture. It connects a whole world of people. Haiti is often called the heart of the Creole world. What makes Creole Ayisyen such a powerful symbol of identity and independence?
That's a very wonderful question, but I'll be trying to not be biased or not much because I'm talking about Haiti and Haitian Creole. I think like the event of the independence plays a very huge role in that because that's the wherever you go right now, you know, like and when you talk about Haiti, you see the language and how we can explain that. And language also is a political means. Back in the days, for example, today, if I said English, which country do you see first?
America?
Exact. But before the 1940, you might see British, UK. You see like how it changes.
Yeah.
You see, if you say English today, you see America. But maybe like I'm not saying anything. Maybe in 300 years, it might be Australia when you say English. You see like the movement, and it's about a geopolitical means like the language. That means with Haiti, with the event of the independence, which is significant, that also brought into, I would say, the spotlight, the country, and also the culture, the language. And secondly, because I would say about Haiti has the greatest size amount of the population. We have more than the 12 million people speaking Haitian Creole. And speakers, the amount of speakers are very important for to keep a language alive. We have some language we say dying languages today because they don't have speakers. Or like the second generation of speakers don't really want to pick up the language and continue the heritage. And the independence, also the size of the population, but also like what has been doing, for example, and the way we've been portraying ourselves in Haitian Creole. I'm gonna say one example. And I don't know if you've seen like High Senate who was singing Haitian in them in live, or like Kodak Black, or like Wyclef, or Friday, for example, has so many times invited his mom to speak Haitian Creole as an interlude. You see, those actions are really important because they are, for example, if you're listening to Friday's album, you know, okay, I'm gonna listen. Oh, this language, which is the same. What is this language? Because it's also part of the movement. Or like you have so many people, like even in Haiti, like about when you say like the and May 18th, which is the Haitian Flag Day,
Yeah.
you go everywhere in the world, you know, Haiti is here. Like, and people are speaking the language, and also they are promoting the culture. And most of the time, the promotion of cultural artifacts comes with the promotion of the language, most of the time.
I'm glad you mentioned music and that being used as a vehicle to push forward the Creole language. But we do have an older song by Boukman Eksperyans, C'est Kreyol Nou Ye. I love that song, but the message in that song is very powerful. Can you describe the message in that song?
I think it's a like you said, a very powerful song. And Boukman, like we said, the which is from the roots movement in Haiti. There's a genre, a musical genre called Racine, roots, literally roots. And Boukman is kind of I would say the flag bearer of it because I think it's even created with them. And the roots movement, if you can go like the same as the Zouk movement in the Caribbean, they were created a sort of way to promote our identity for our to accept who we are. But also with the language, I don't remember that we have a song in French, a Zouk song like for if Kassav, because it was part of a movement, Creolite movement, which is the appreciation of your identity, your Creole identity. That's the same thing you can see it in Bookman, because that's the reason like the roots music is so connected to voodoo, because it was a way of mean of identity for us. Like this song, it's not only about the music to say the Kreyòl Nou Ye, like for us to speak Haitian Creole, but actually I should do a little research to see if this music was published after at the end of the dictatorship. Why? Because at the end of the dictatorship, there was something like Babouquet l'a tombé, la parole libérée. It's like Babouquet, the muzzle has fallen, and we're free to speak. The song about the Creole Nou Ye is it's a it's a calling to us to accept and to appreciate your idea, your Creole identities. Whether it's about the language, you can speak it right now. That's you. You can't escape that.
I have it listed as published in the 90s. So I'm sure it came out later in the 80s, but it was published in like
Okay.
91. Yeah. So do you think there was censorship during the dictatorship? I guess that would be during the Duvalier era.
Of course,
Yeah.
because there's a famous Haitian poet, Anthony Phelps. He said like, il est venu le temps de parler par signe. Like literally, like, and it comes the time to speak through sign language. Because the dictatorship, it was about you can't speak freely. And you see, at the end of it, in 1986, for people of Haiti, like for the Haitians, it's not only about reclaim our rights to live, to exist the way we want, but also we claim our right to speak. If we can go back to Jean Leopold Dominique, who is a famous journalist who was killed in 2000, I think April 2000, and at Radio Haiti Inter, he introduced the first program in Creole. It was around the 70s. And it was a huge revolution for people at that time because you can hear your language and like someone speak your language and in a show. And as you can see, for example, if you come to some places, whether in the Caribbean or somewhere else, so many times the way to keep the language underrepresented, it's not to go with it at school or like informal situations. For example, if you go to a bank, you speak Haitian Creole or someone else speak French. No. And every time you have the chance to listen to the language, and for example, like you remember like Wyclef who said "sac passé" during a World Cup final. It's like it's so simple, it's so quick, but it's still something meaningful. or like request who's trying to speak Haitian Creole every time, and we're smiling because it's so important for the language. So to come back to the Kreyol Nou Ye, like for Boukman, and I don't, to be honest, I don't know. I haven't done any research on that to see if the music is connected to the past, even the recent past events, for example, at the end of the dictatorship. But the message is kind of a similar. You are Creole. You can say that. And Creole is not only about the language, it's also about the culture. You are free to wear a dress that has a portrait of Ezeli. It wasn't that, because remember, like in Haiti back in the days, like in the 20th century, we have something called Campagne de Rejeté. It's like a campaign of rejected people where Catholic were fighting with people from and Vodou traditions to say that okay, it's a and just in the middle of the 20th century, not so far ago. And when we have this music to say you can wear a dress where there is a sign, a symbol of Ezeli, there's a symbol of Dimbala. It wasn't that easy back in the days to do it. The Creole identity is not only about the language, but also like how you introduce us to the world, how you represent yourself. For example, like you had some people like Fufu, for example. You said Fufu or Tom Tom. Tom Tom. It's still like sometimes for some people in Haiti, they have some very narrow view about this type of meal in Haiti. But this music or like this mode of expression at the end of the dictatorship is like to say, you're free to eat wherever you want, whatever you want, because that's your country, that's yours. And I think that was something, this music was so powerful, and it is until today. I think if you are a little bit familiar to Creole and heritage in Haiti, like you will hear someone talking about this music at least for once. And yeah, and I was thinking of it last night by preparing this conversation.
So before we move forward, I want to mention the other nations that are also celebrating Creole Day. They include St. Lucia, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Jamaica, Belize. These are also countries that speak some form of Creole. Notably, Jamaica speaks Jamaican Patois. Reggae is the music that you usually hear Patois in. Can you talk a little bit more about how different mediums like music and art are advancing the culture and Creole culture?
That's a powerful question. Actually, if you go to maybe Merriam-Webster or like either like and French dictionary, you will see a lot of references from arts. For example, writer, for example, musician, and because there are like ways of expression, not only about like the artistic journey, but also like and the living population. For example, like when you see reggae, and reggae was so powerful, like I said, for Zouk in promoting the Creole identity that we are talking about. Or like I do remember like there's a song and a root song in French. You see, the music, it kind of the music comes with a sort of identity. Like, and if you and I'm saying, if you listen to a song, a root song in French, if that person is not Haitian, you said, okay, that makes sense because it's not Haitian. Maybe that person doesn't speak Haitian Creole. But if you listen to Haitian and singing in French, a root song, you said, oh, that's, you don't say anything, but in yourself, you said, okay, maybe there's something like I should kind of there's something wrong with that because the music comes us in a certain way with the culture, and like the same like Zouk, the same like for example, like when you see reggaeton, the first thing you see a part of the Puerto Rican people, and you see the Spanish, a little Spanish in it. I'm not gonna say there's a language for music, like each genre should be kind of centered around a language. But what we see historically, we have some languages, we have some genres that are being promoted into one or in another song, and that is okay for all of us because they are part of the place where this music came. For example, like in reggae, you listen, you are waiting for some of the Jamaican Patois or Creole. You're waiting for that, and we learned that. And I think like a lot of us in Haiti know about what I've won, some what I've won, way before we know about Jamaica because we've been listening to it. A lot of people like
Yeah.
embodying this
And
this music.
and it was made popular with Bob Marley and his success with, his records and
Exact. And you see, like that's the reason, like so many times we see artists as ambassadors because when you see Bob Marley, you say, "Oh, where this guy come from?" You wanted to know a little bit about his roots, and by looking for his roots, you're looking for the country where he came from, and also the culture of this country. That means it's a really great vehicle, like for the to promote the culture, like music or arts and or literature. For example, like if you take a if we have an like this week we have the Nobel Prize of Literature. It was the guys from Oslo, I guess, Norway. Yes, and immediately we said, okay, I'm gonna go back to see a little bit of his roots, and also you learn about the country or like about his community. But before that, I didn't. I couldn't remember that. I couldn't remember that I've heard his name before. But because it's an international prize, international recognition. Now you say, okay, let me know a little bit, at least 1% or like 0.5% about his roots, and these ambassadors, or like if someone who is not familiar to the Haitian culture, or like is around the festival, the big festival in Miami, and during the Flag Day celebrations, and you say, okay, I might need to know a little bit about this culture. I see maybe someone might say, okay, I see a lot of people eating and banan peze. Why do they love that? Why do they eat that? And that's how you introduce yourself to the culture. It may be by music, and we know music, for example, and this music. I don't think I don't think I'm gonna pronunciating it right. Gangnam Style. You remember this
yes,
music,
yes.
but you can't remember the lyrics. That's okay. But you know there was a music. Everyone was kind of a dancing, wake up Gangnam Style. We know that, and by this music you learn about a little bit about the culture, about the
But
language, and
we don't know what it means, but we know it's a hype song, right?
exact. We don't know what it means. And when we were growing up, there's a lot of songs we can't even remember. Like, if they were like if the sentence was, for example, like Kin Pasi in Haiti, there was a lot of English pieces in this music, but sometimes you are singing the music, you can't understand the language. That's the reason I would say that. And arts, music, or literature, or painting, they play a very great role into promoting and I would say the culture, like the Creole cultures. Or like let's say, and if someone in St. Lucia is singing in Creole, or like last week I saw someone from Martinique who was singing in Creole, Martinique Creole. And I take a little time to say, oh, that's really good. And I left a comment, but I'm pretty sure I couldn't understand every word, every single word, but I feel it. I said it took me a little time sometimes to, decode the meaning, but you feel connected to it because that's part of you. And yeah, I think like artists or like music in general, arts or literature, they can play a very great role. And I'm gonna take one last example. One of the most important books in Haitian literature is Gouverneur de la Rosée from Jacques Roumain. And it was translated into Masters of the Dew by Langston Hughes. And you can understand, and we are in post Harlem Renaissance. And Langston Hughes, who has spent a few days in Haiti, came back to the U.S. to translate this book. You can understand the introduction for the Haitian literature. I talked to a friend in New York. He's doing a little research on Jacques Roumet, the author, and he said that Jacques Roumet's room is still there. I'd like to go there one day and see it, but he said that. Yeah, yeah, like, and links on you because the book is originally published in French, like in Gouverneur de la Rosée, and Langston Hughes found it important to translate it. And now I spent a little time on Langston Hughes because he was who he was at that time. So, and
Huge.
coming from, it was huge coming from Haiti, and this started a movement between Haiti and Harlem Renaissance. You see, a lot of writers from Haiti at that time were coming to Harlem, and you see like much more writers coming there. That's this type of movement you can have with artists or creators. It's just one example.
So, can we talk more about English based Creoles? And how does that fit into the global Creole family? We know that Jamaicans speak Patois and there's Belizean Creole.
Yes, yes. Actually, it's that there's no such a difference because when we say French-based Creole or English-based Creole or like Netherlands-based sorry Creole, it's there's no difference in that. What people say when they say base Creole is like these languages and had or maybe have shared and so much of their lexicons or like this variety. Let's say varieties because I don't want to say like each Creole is a language and just say variety of the language. They have in common some and morphological patterns or like syntactical patterns with the language of the colonizer. It's like because the European language. It's that means like linguistically, French-based Creole, English-based Creole, or like Portuguese-based Creole in Brazil are the same linguistically because the explanation is that these languages shared like a part of their history with a European language. And most of the time, the European language, or like which is maybe which was the language of the country that was the colonizer, and you will find some features of this language. So the Creole, and actually like the word Criollo, for example, the word Creole has some Hispanic and Portuguese roots. Criollo, Creolo, and you can see like some roots and in Haitian Creole we said Kreyòl, we said that, and all I said Lucia, that's the same. And but there's no such a difference into the how linguistically they behave because of the we call them linguistically lexifier language, or like substrate and superstrates. For example, superstrates is considered as the language of the European language most of the time, and substrate is considered as a African language most of the time. Yes, they are equal. Linguistically, there's no difference. It's about like the contact with the language that was like the kind of the ancestor, if I can say that.
Understood. Thank you for explaining that. So we know that the Creole culture and the Creole language has influenced things like music, from compa to zouk to reggae and soca, but it's also influenced proverbs. Do you have any favorite sayings in Creole?
Oh, that's a lot. What should I say? I really like nous c'est ozo, nous mettre plié, nous pas casser. Do you get it?
I like that. Nous met plié, nous pas casser.
Yeah,
We might bend, but we won't break.
never. Yes.
I like that.
That for me symbol. That's it's so common into the Haitian and I would say imagination. Like to say that okay, things are very bad today, but also like that not gonna break us. And I remember like and or like a lot of people rely on that to say okay, you're gonna have a better day. We will overcome it and or like someone might say we've done it before, we can do it again. You can hear that a lot from the country actually to say we've done it before in 1804. We can do it again. It's just a very difficult moment. Yeah, we can. I really like this one because for me it symbolizes a little bit the Haitian spirit, and and also there was something like we say a lot in Haiti, Assam, Nufo, and but also it's also like it's part of the Haitian and I would say like l'union fait la force.
Yeah, it's in our flag, right?
But
L'union fait
yes,
la force. That's
unity is our strength, and those are very important for me. And outside of some, we have some very joyful proverbs, and but those are very important for me because I think and this moment, like it's really tough, whether you're in Haiti or you're outside of Haiti, it's really tough. The reason why, like for so many reasons, for example, like for sometimes you might be thinking, oh, if I'm outside of the country, I find some relief. Sometimes it's not true. Relief not coming from your social economical status, but also from seeing yourself or part of yourself suffering. Like Haiti is part of also. Whenever we see something happening, and sometimes we close our eyes or we pray, those who pray and pray or do something else. So yeah, I think like the I don't really like the word resilience, but I think sometimes I should recognize it plays something around the community.
since you're speaking on proverbs. There's one. Well, typically we say sac passe, right? But there's a history behind that. Can you explain that to people who may not understand what that means? And we say sac passe, not boule. It's like a call and response. And then there's a newer one, honor, respect. Can you explain what those mean to the Haitian identity and the Haitian people?
Ça passé is kind of related to the revolution. Honneur respect. Now I know something because and I'm from the northwestern of Haiti, and I'm in a town called Port-de-Paix. And actually, honneur respect is really meaningful and it's the Haitian traditions. For example, like for my mom, you can't go somewhere and you're not asking for before not that's a situation you can knock on the door, like so you can't. That's so many things you can say about ordinary respect. It's just when you are going somewhere, you introduce yourself. There's a way of carrying yourself, and also there are things you can't do. And I can't go to a neighbor's house and knocking on the door like this, and it's kind of a sign of disrespect. And also, like, and for example, like honor respect. If you go somewhere, people are not you not feel invited or that they don't invite you, you can't go without asking for permission. You're saying that I am here, and people know you're here. They come to open the door for you when they want or when they come, when they can't.
There's concern about the Creole language dying out. How can we keep that language alive for future generations?
That's a very good question. And actually, at least for the Haitian Creole, it's not gonna die. We know that for sure. Because like we said, like status is very important for a language. And at least in Haiti, Creole has the official status. That is representative for us. If we go to New York, Creole has a status since 2008 or 8. If you go to Miami, the same way, for example, I was reading an article about Miami-based English. That means there's another type of English that are being raised and inside the community. In Miami, you have a queer community. We have, and there was a researcher named Flo Zephyr who published an article about and the Creole and the contact between English and Creole. A lot of people, for example, like if you listen to Friday's Mom, you say, okay, it's Haitian Creole. At least we know the community. We are here. We are alive. The Creole language will be around. And also, like I said, the status, because language policies are very important to promote and to the respect of the language. For example, like the language policy is we have some And I don't know if you realize that a lot of Haitian music groups, they are actually published kind of whether it's a release in two languages at least, Haitian, Creole, and English. But back in the days, it might be French and English. But now it's Haitian, Creole, and English because they can't escape the fact the people that are around, most of them are Haitians of backgrounds or like Haitian, and that's something about the side of the population. Another thing is, for example, and there's a lot of things that was going on outside of the country. For example, I was reading something about a former student in 2017, I guess, and at Duke University who published her thesis in Creole about Creole poetry. That's something very interesting. When we have like students, for example, at Indiana University where I teach Haitian Creole, we have a lot of students from Haiti or from Haitian background or like other kind of origins willing to learn the language. And I published an article recently at Chalkbit, and where I was explaining the experience that I have with some Haitian kids who were born outside of Haiti and mostly in South America, and one of them told me that she always speaking Haitian Creole to me. Like I'm talking about students that are fully proficient in English, Spanish, Portuguese, and Haitian Creole. And she said, because I feel connected to you. She is 9 or 10 years old. I don't think she really understand the concept of social connectedness that I implied in the text. I don't think but she knows something when she sees me. And I recounted a little bit the first day I came there. It was in September 2023. And I saw a group of kids. I said, "Kreyòl Nou Ye," and they were kind of, they were almost crying to hear my voice. Kreyòl Nou Ye, they know that. And when you have this type of excitement you have around the language, you can say that it's gonna be like, because we keep languages alive through generations. First, for example, like we mentioned a very quick example from Kodak Black. I don't think Kodak and maybe like Ken and spend 10 minutes speaking only Haitian Creole. But that's not the problem for him. It's like I am able to speak Creole. Maybe like he's learning more Creole every day. It's not about like someone who is able to speak.
Can you talk about the interest you said you've had from Haitian Americans who are wanting to get back to their roots and learn Creole?
Exactly. That's a lot of interest. And actually, I said like some of them are for family interest. They wanted to stay connected to members of the family, as we know a lot of time, and maybe one or two or many members of the family may not be fully and proficient in the English language. We know that. And also, like the other thing is about what's coming up. And like I said, I took Kodak Black, I took Kai Senate a lot because they have influenced a lot of students. At least I have two students who said to me that they have listened to Kai Senate and they wanted to speak the language because that they said it's cool to me. It's kind of but also you have some also ideological position, like for someone like some Haitian kids who said that I am Haitian, I should be able to speak the language because it's kind of a weird connection to my roots, to my ancestors. And I don't know if you realize a lot of Haitian Americans or like take some very cultural names for their products and for example, you might have a group of students calling something and voodoo liberation. Just, yeah, you might have that. And I have a friend in Indiana. He has two kids because I created not a class for kids, students, Haitian students, but kids from 6 to 12 in the summer of 2024 because we have a lot of Haitian kids who don't really speak Haitian Creole, and their families were asking me to create the class. It was in 2024. It was very good. And at that time, I have a friend who told me something. He has two kids, and they are mixed, and they haven't been to Haiti yet. And the boy tattooed and a sign of Ezuli, a tattoo of Ezili. And he asked him, what does that mean to you? He said, she's the queen of liberation. That's what she said. That's what he said to him. He said, okay, she's the queen for that. But, and you see like, you see, I see that a lot around, like some of these kids who only have the chance to learn from the country, maybe by one member of the family. Sometimes they are being raised in and family of two different and ethnicities, and they willing to know. I can't explain it why they are eager to choose the Haitianness or Creolness instead of the other ethnicity. I can't explain that. I haven't come across of something which fully explain that either. But I've seen that. I've observed that some of these kids who are born inside, maybe sometimes inside of two ethnicities, families, they pick Haitian Haitian tradition. They share, I would say, like so much interest into knowing or into furthering or fostering the knowledge about Haitian culture and language instead of the other ethnicity. I've seen that. I can't say it's the fact for all of them, as we know, but I can freely say that that's the fact for a part of them. And the interest, I think, it's about influence. What's going on, what's happening around, because it's if you are in so many places actually in the US, and it might be very and surprising if you don't know, as a Haitian, if you don't know about Haiti, because we made the headlines for good and bad reasons. So we made the headlines, and at least, and like sometimes when it's bad, it's it's hard. It's really hard for us to bear it, and they said like suffering sometimes create greater connections. So
And the Creole language is a sign of that resistance and what we've been through. It's come out of that. That's how Creole was created, right? From that resistance and suffering.
all right. And I had a friend who said some things to me last time. He said, we might be the only community here, like as a Creole community, to come to the front line, like headlines, to US television and to speak Haitian Creole. He said that. And it's not something that you see. Of course, with Spanish, of course, because they've been around, like it's a lot of Spanish community. But besides Spanish, Haitian Creole is so present into media. And so, for example, in my story, I have a few sentences in Haitian Creole. And for me, it's yeah. If you read the story, I have the conversation that I related. It's in Haitian Creole, of course. Translation because that was the a request. But it's kind of embedded a lot of Haitian Creole sentences. And
I would
okay.
love to, transition this podcast into an all Creole podcast. I think that would be. I don't want to alienate my English speakers, but definitely considering making this an all Creole podcast. Parce que,
Yes.
nous toutes ces petites Kreyòl Nou Ye. So just to have folks, from Haiti chime in and share their stories in Creole, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, that would be very amazing. Or like another thing is you might, if you have time, subdivide a little bit. So if you, for example, if you're gonna do two episodes in 1 month, maybe one in Haitian Creole, one in English, like you said, like to keep equally, and because you need both, actually both listeners, and we need like
Mweme
Haitians.
desa. Yeah, I like that. Mweme sa. Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a good way, like to keep it grounded. Like we know, like okay, like we have 50-50%. Like we can't complain. So
Oh. Webster, merci pour ton passé avec moi pour podcast là. M'apprécier ça. I want to thank you, Webster, for taking the time to share about Creole Heritage Month with me. on this podcast. We welcome you back over and over again, as many times as you want to be. You are like my one of my initial guests on this show. So I just want to thank you for always being available, and happy Creole Heritage Month.
Merci Fadia, merci un peu. J'aime te dire dans le commencement, moi content là. Thank you, Fadia. Thank you so much. Like I said in the beginning, I was so happy to be here. Merci. Puis, c'est Kreyòl Nou Ye. C'est
Yes.
Kreyòl Nou Ye.
Nous toutes
Yes,
ces
c'est
petites Kreyol. Yes.
Bon mois Kreyòl. And Bon mois Kreyòl, happy Heritage Creole Month. So everyone, whether you're in St. Lucia, I think they already started because like every year they kind of launch the Creole Month at the end of on September 30th or like October 1st. I was watching a video in Louisiana, and we have some Creole speakers that are asking for more representation. That's something very cool, very interesting to see. Whether you're in Louisiana, in the Caribbean, the Indian Ocean, happy Creole Month to you, and we are one. Kreyòl Nou Ye. Nous Creole. Thank you, Fadia.
Thank you. Take care. I'm your host, Fadia Patterson, and thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Creole Narratives podcast. For more episodes, please follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, and wherever podcasts are available.